So, George, man, you got to tell me, am I still your boo? I'm not feeling loved anymore. We don't talk anymore, dude.
Is this part of the interview?
I want the world to know you're still my boo. I need affirmation, George.
Whoa, just right out of the box like that?
Just like that, man. No reach around, no nothing.
Oh, man, just buy me a beer first. Like something. Turn off the lights.
Hey. So anyway, dude, so it's been a while since we've talked, actually done an interview. I think the last one was last September, right before you played BLK Live in Scottsdale. Not the last time, but the last time before that. So we got a lot of catching up to do. So really quick, though, you just did a couple shows with the newly formed Rat, which your Rat phone never went off, so you never got the call. But you played with a guy that now plays Warren DeMartini, Jordan Ziff. He played with you here in Arizona when you came out one time. And what did you think of the overall... I mean, what's your opinion? What do you think? What do you think of the new Rat?
Wait a minute. You called me to do an interview to ask me about how I feel about Rat?
That's...
Whoa. That's crazy, dude. They were great. I mean, and I thought Jordan was fantastic. And actually, I think it was a really good fit. You know, I mean, he's not a legacy guy, but, you know, I think that just matters to probably, you know, a minority of people. I think what's most important is you're servicing the songs and the songs themselves, and obviously having Steven there, or any other legacy band, having the lead singer, you know, is of primary importance, and then the guitar secondary. But you know, it sounded wonderful. They were great.
And, of course, Chris Sanders, who's played with Night Fury, did a stint with Lizzie Borden. I think he did some Brittany Fox. He's playing now Robin Crosby.
Yeah, the whole band sounded fantastic. They're going to do fine.
Well, anyway, I just thought it'd be interesting.
What do I know?
It would be interesting to get your opinion on it since you have played with Jordan before. You guys doing Mr. Scary, remember you did it with two other guitars. That was probably the first time you ever did that live, right?
Yes, it was. And that convinced me to start using a backing track or have my my guitar tech, who is also a guitar player, play rhythm off stage, because it just really made such a huge difference, you know, because when you think about it, you know, when I recorded that song, there's a multitude of guitar tracks going on there at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many, but quite a few. And some of them are very primary and important, and it's impossible for anybody to play them all. And so a lot of times I'm just playing to air, and it doesn't really sound right. It's not gratifying, you know, because you want to hear, at least, if nothing else, you want to hear that rhythm underneath, you know, pedaling and driving the song, and then you want to hear the solo on top of it. So now I do that. I either have since that show that you're speaking of, where I had two guitar players playing along with me and playing all the parts, which was fantastic. That's the best that song ever sounded. So I started incorporating a backing track or having my guitar tech play rhythm.
Well, if you need any other ideas, just let me know and I'll hook you up.
Yeah, do you do investment ideas too, or how about personal hygiene? I know you give fitness tips.
Yeah,
you gave me one before we started.
That's right. The bro grips made out of a pool noodle.
When I go into the gym, I should grab somebody's noodle. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, dude. There's your grip right there.
That's good advice, I guess. I don't know. I hope I don't get beat up at the gym, but whatever.
And there's various grip sizes that way. So, well, anyway.
Okay.
It was amazing. It was amazing when you guys did that, and it sounded great, and we could kind of tell by the look on your face how much you were enjoying it. So I'm glad that worked out for you, and it's a great idea. I mean, why not use backing tracks on a track like that? So there you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
Well,
you're just solving all my problems.
Well, I don't know about that. And the other thing here is Jordan has played with Robert Mason for quite some time now. I don't know if we can exactly mention it because he kind of keeps it a secret, but whatever.
Anybody cares. Now speaking, get in trouble with.
Yeah. Oh, he'll get pissed at me. He'll get pissed at me once again for something. But anyway, since we last talked, man, a lot of things have changed. No longer Oni. You've got Robert Mason and Steven Tyler, of course, from Aerosmith, and Scott Coogan now on drums for Jimmy DeAnda. Now, how did you get Steven Tyler in the band?
Well, ever since he got kicked out of Aerosmith, he tried that country thing, didn't go too well, and so he wanted to get back into the rock thing, but nobody would have him because, you know, he was undefendable. So plus he's not that famous. He's not really that good. So, but we let him in the band because he has so much money that he was able to. He had a band and a PA.
We got to use the guy for something. But seriously, Nathan, how do you say his last name? How do you say his last name?
Nathan, and I don't know how to say his last name. Oots, I think. Oots. You know?
How's he been working out for you? It seems like he's been getting good responses from your fans out there.
Well, you know, the only time, quite honestly, I really can focus on Nathan or Robert or any other singer, anyone, is watching the video show, because on stage I don't hear them that much, and I'm kind of focused on what I'm doing. You know, I can tell the vocals are going on, but I'm not really, you know, listening to them in any kind of critical way. But I did watch something recently that Sean McNabb sent me, and it was fantastic. He sounded surprisingly great. I was just blown away, actually. I was like, damn. And he came recommended by a good friend, Will Hunt, the drummer from Evanescence, and who suggested I check him out and told me I wouldn't be disappointed. So I jumped right in with both feet. He's a really good guy, very sweet guy, works hard, shows up, gives 100,000%, and it's very positive. And so I have no complaints at all.
And then, of course, when you can get Robert, that's always great, too.
Yeah, you know, and that's, Nathan has been very diplomatic about that. It's got to be a little rough. It's like somebody calling me up and going, you know, we want you to play guitar when we can't get the guy we really want, which isn't the case. But Robert's got the name and the history. That's the thing. It's
right.
Not that one is better than the other. It's, you know, 6 of one, half dozen the other. They're both great singers. But we did a record with Robert, and he was in the band.
So that's what makes it really cool, is now you can resurrect a couple of these songs off that album, which is a great album, by the way. And you know, I mean, when's the last time you've done some of these songs with Robert? Forever ago.
Can't think if we ever have, other than, you know, back in the early 90s.
Right. So that's pretty cool in itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah, he's about as pro as it gets. I mean, he goes out there and just, oh my God. It just, you know, I really feel when you got a guy like that up front, it takes a lot of the stress off of everyone else, you know, to overcompensate. And there'll have been bands that I have been in, band situations I have been in, where I feel I really have to step up and make up for somebody else's lack of stepping up, you know. So it's just, Robert is such a master of his universe, man. It's just fascinating to watch him, and it's a privilege and honor to be on stage with him.
Now, what's going to happen if it comes to the next Lynch?
Did I take it too far?
No.
It might be a little overboard.
No, that was good. That was good. Robert will be very happy with that. I think we'll get his approval. So, if it comes to recording, what are you going to do for the next Lynch Mob record? Would it be Nathan, or would it be Robert, or?
Well, I don't really want to say anything right now, because that's kind of in the works. So I don't want to. That's all being talked about, negotiated.
Now, something I read recently online, and of course, if it's online, I have to believe it, right? So, you might be doing a Dawkins show.
That also is tentative, but you know, it's not really a Dawkins show. It would be Mick, Don, and myself with whoever Don's current bass player is.
Now, back at NAMM, I think it was, you jammed with Dawkins. Or kind of, with Don anyway, and that was when Ira Black was filling in for John Levin, and a lot of people were ripping on Ira because you guys did Kiss of Death, and he was doing the solo with you. What were your thoughts on that? Do you think that was disrespectful, or he just got caught up in the moment, or? Well,
listen, I'm a nice guy, and I'll get up and jam with all kinds of people, and I'm not, you know, not like I'm the, you know, I'm the superstar and you have to stand back. But at the same time, when it's my song that I wrote and that I'm famous for, why would you do that? Yeah. So that's an act that seems very desperate and very immature. Whether it's John Levin or whether it's Ira Black or whoever else. I mean, if I were to step on stage, you know, I get it. You know, I was young once, and if I had a chance to get up with a mentor of mine or somebody I felt I wanted to, you know, compete with or show them how good I was or something, you know, I would have done the same thing. but then you grow up. So yeah, it's a very immature move.
Yeah, I mean, I've sat and talked with the guy. He's a really cool guy, and the last time I did talk to him was up in Tempe a couple of years ago, and I know he's a huge fan of yours. So when I saw it, I was like, man, I don't know if he meant to be a dick about it or anything, but it is what it is, and you guys are two totally different players anyway. And yeah, like you said, you're George Lynch. You wrote that song. He's like a shredder, and you're freaking George Lynch. So there's the difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the biggest thing in the world. Who cares? But for him at that moment, it was the biggest thing. And, you know, guitar players are all two-faced. I mean, we're all genuinely friendly to each other and like each other, and also genuinely competitive. And those two things are not mutually exclusive. And I'm just as competitive, or used to be anyways, as anyone else, and I get it. You know, we all go out there and we want to win. And so it's just a natural instinct.
Well, let me
you have to learn to check yourself.
Let me put it to you this way, and I think everybody would agree. You schooled him.
I didn't school anybody. Did I just went and did my thing?
Well, that's schooling. Doing your thing.
Yeah.
George Lynch doing his business. Is that your business?
Well, that's the thing I need to stay away from, is the business part of it.
Yeah.
And just play guitar. Shut the fuck up and play guitar.
That's right. That's going to be your next album title. Shut the fuck up and play the guitar.
Yes. Remind me, please.
I will.
I always forget.
Like, I got to remind you to wear my damn Headbangers shirt, dude. Come on.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
All right. Hey, so you must be pretty excited. Shadow Nation finally going to be distributed.
Yes. Yeah, it's I can't actually remember the exact date.
Isn't it like August 17th or something like that? In fact, you know what? I'll look it up for us.
But it is available on pre-order. So you know, it is coming out like mid-August, I think.
I'm going to look it up for us right now, and I just got to say in the meantime, dude, once again, congrats on that thing. I know you worked on it forever, and when we filmed it, or when we viewed it up in Jerome, Arizona, it was just amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, it was really, really good. It comes out, George, on August 14th, and you can pre-order it right now on Amazon.
Oh, great.
So
yeah, I ordered a whole bunch just for so I can give them away to my friends and family.
So you're going to send me one? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I said friends and family, dude.
Oh, God, George, you hurt me. What's funny is, ever since you've now become left-handed, according to the picture.
Yeah, nobody consulted me in that, and obviously whoever designed that cover isn't a guitar player. But that's okay. Hey, it makes you think, right?
It does.
Right, something to talk about.
I was like,
oh, you mean that'll be the hook in the movie? Oh, that movie with the right-handed guitar players playing left-handed on the cover.
There you
Great
go.
marketing.
You're up in your game, playing left-handed now, and of course, you know, God rest his soul, Greg. You know, God rest his soul, Greg, right there on the cover with you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's real sad.
Yeah, no kidding.
We're also working on a record. We're working on a record. Me and some other people that Greg has worked with over the years, doing a compilation record of some Shadow Train stuff and some other music that he was working on recently before he passed away, and some of his older material from Slavier and some of his older bands. He's been in bands with guys that we all know, like Ray Lazier and him were in a band together, Ray from Korn, KXM. You know, he's one of those guys that shoulda, coulda, woulda, but for various reasons didn't. And, you know, definitely had an amazing voice.
Yeah.
You know, he was, should have. But anyways, once we get this CD put together, we're going to put it out there, and just all the proceeds will go to his wife and his son, Xavier. So.
Well, that's really cool. I mean, a damn shame, a damn loss, but... You know, the record you guys made was amazing, dude. So I'm glad we got that at least.
We got that, and they'll live on forever through that.
Yeah. So, what is this Disney song you did?
Yeah. Well, you know, every once in a while I get approached by an agent or a third party somewhere around the world, you know, the film industry, or you know, a compilation record or a tribute record, or somebody's doing even a vanity record or something, and they go, some band from another country want me to come in and play a solo or contribute in some way. And I do that stuff every once in a while. This was one of those instances, and it's a Japan-based company. It is Disney, but for some reason, I got the call from a Japanese company, and it was very pro. I mean, they brought me in, top-notch studios, and they did it right. And it's a little intimidating. They had a musical director there, which I'm not used to having sitting there watching me play because I don't know theory. So they're there to make sure that you're playing everything right, playing the right notes. And every once in a while, he'd ask me, "Did you mean to play that?" "Oh yeah."
Well, you know what?
So much I'm going to play it twice.
You just reminded me, you did actually at one point in your career have a musical director per se. You had the musical director for Madonna and Jennifer Lopez, that one dude on the Smoke This. What was that guy's name?
Paul Pesco.
Yeah, there you go.
He was musical director in Madonna.
Right.
I guess he was sort of music. Yeah, but he wasn't that kind of musical director.
Right. I just thought it'd be kind of funny to point out.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, a musical director actually sits there with his arms crossed and listens and makes sure that does a lot of things. He makes sure the transcription is getting done. He makes sure that it's being recorded properly, and he sort of interfaces with everybody. But I would get checked once in a while on the validity of my my note selection.
That's interesting. Did you take anything away from the session or no?
Yeah, I learned how to fake it better.
So there's that.
If you insist you're right and come up with an alternate theory, you can't really argue with an invented theory because it hasn't been disproved.
True.
So if he's saying, is that a Mixolydian scale that you're incorporating into your harmonic minor? I'd say no, that's a Lixolydian scale. And he goes, what's that? I go, that's an inversion of the Mixolydian scale. And then while he's thinking about it, I just keep cracking, and he's left there to scratch his head.
The Lynchisms you threw at this guy, threw him for a loop.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, dude, so back to Robert Mason and Wild Mick. You guys got this, it was Super Stroke record, and Jeff Pilson, of course. What the hell's going on with that, man? We are all wanting to hear this so bad.
Well, it's coming out in February, I believe. It's being mixed as we speak. It's all recorded. And, man, what a record. I know we'll say that, but I think this time it really is.
And what's the name? Can we say the name? Really. Can you tell us the name?
Of the project?
Of the band, whatever the hell, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to say the name of it yet. And the reason, and I'm not being silly about it, it's just, there are real reasons why they don't, because, for instance, like pirating. Like if somebody were to get, there's three things people could get and pirate something illegitimately. One is the name, second is the logo, the graphic, second is the cover, and third is the music.
Yeah.
So somebody had to cover the music. I mean, they could generate, there are people within the record company that might leak something, if they had the cover that they could copy, then they could theoretically sell that, pirate it, sell it.
Yeah.
And the record company's made an investment in this, it's a year and a half long process. You have to protect that.
Well,
I don't really want to say what the name is yet, but yeah,
okay.
We got a name.
Yeah, you told me it the other day. I'm not going to hold my breath on it because anything could change, but I will keep that in the back of my mind.
No, that's it. It's in stone.
Okay. Well, your secret is safe with me, Mr. Lynch.
All of them.
I've told a few. Wait, what? No.
Okay,
all right, so Ultraphonics, that thing's finally coming out in August, right?
Yes.
It's like all these records you've worked on for like 10 years. You're like almost like Axl Rose, man. What's going on here?
No. Well, no. The longest project was the Shadow Nation, Shadow Train.
That was long.
That was long. But that, a third of that time was just spent getting distribution. and also we've worked on it in a very fragmented fashion. Whenever we had time as a group to come together and do filming and do editing and so forth, so we weren't working. But Ultraphonics didn't take that long. Ultraphonics got done relatively quickly. I mean, we did some additional work later on, but that Ultraphonics came from Project Infidelica, which came from the Infidels.
Right.
So initially it was the Infidels about 7 years ago, and then we did some recording, but we never put out a record. And then it became Project Infidelica when we got Angelo Moore, Fishbone, in the band. We did some touring with him, and then we swapped Angelo out for Corey Glover from Woody Color. So same band with a different singer. And actually, Angelo does sing. He shares a song with Corey called Counterculture that he sings on it. So yeah, it's coming out early part of August.
And how do you feel about that record? Are you happy with the end result?
Fuck, dude.
Because I know you were. I know you.
I'm my biggest fan. If you haven't been able to tell, I love my.
No, but I know how excited you were with it, especially with Corey Glover coming on, and you told me, and I quote, he's like a gospel singer on steroids.
Well, gospel singers don't normally do steroids, and he is pretty buff. I gotta say, that was probably a bad analogy. He's like a gospel singer in a rock band that occasionally plays funk music as well.
All right.
I think the analogy I did make, the comparison I made was it's like Old Priest meets Chili Peppers meets King Crimson.
Well, I don't remember that. If you want to go with that, that's all right. I'd still go with Sexual Chocolate, George, but that's okay.
Well, that'd be great because our first single is Sweet Black Pussy.
Man, you're still hooked on that.
I am hooked on Sweet Black Pussy.
Oh my God.
Just kidding.
So we'll be looking forward to that. What's the release date on that? That's sometime in August as well.
August 3rd, I believe.
August 3rd. All right. So we'll look forward to that. Now, you mentioned when I first got on the phone with you got to go make some more guitars. I got an idea for you. So you've got the Skull and Bones, you've got the Burnt Tiger, you've got the Snake Hunter or whatever, you got the Klondike, so that's like an ice cream bar. So why not the Butterfinger? The Butterfinger, George, and then that can go along with your jerk-off vibrato, but it's more PC.
Butterfinger, well...
Which could also tie into the new project.
I know, but I don't think guys can get excited about spending $7,000 on a guitar called the Butterfinger.
Well...
They want to take... musicians take their gear pretty seriously. So when you make a joke out of it, belittle it, it just doesn't work.
Well, I certainly wasn't belittling or anything because you're.
No, I'm not saying you were. I'm saying
if you were to. But
called it the Jelly Roll Caster or some silly, stupid, childish name. And
Jelly Roll Caster.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. It's got to be cool. It can be clever, but I don't think it can be silly. I'll save that for my album title and songs.
Remember the album title. The next one is "Shut the Fuck Up and Play the Guitar."
Yeah, I think.
Well, what's next?
Wait a minute, didn't the guitar player from Spiders from Mars already have a record called that?
Was it actually titled "Shut
Mick
the Fuck"?
Ronson?
No, Shut Up and Play Guitar, I think.
Okay, so I just add fuck?
Yeah.
It's pretty creative. When in doubt, just add fuck.
Exactly, dude. If you can't
fuck
think of...
makes everything better.
If you... Fucking A right, dude. If you can't fucking think of something fucking else to say, you swear. Right?
So what do they say about people that use a lot of profanity? They just lack creativity, right?
Oh, no. It was Frank Zappa, Shut Up and Play Your Guitar. That was it.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
All right, so shut the fuck up and play your guitar.
Yeah, it'll be way better than Zappa's stupid record.
All right, so what's the next idea for a Mr. Scary guitar? Which, by the way, again, I got to pimp you, and I hope you enjoyed and checked out that video where I had Frank Hannon. I interviewed him, and he was checking it out, holding it, and he really dug it. But they are amazing guitars. I know the one that you made for me you wanted to keep, but they're all amazing. And so what's next for a Mr. Scary guitar?
Well, nothing monumental. I mean, the only thing I'm doing right now is I went through a few changes at the beginning or the end of last year, early part of this year, and I'm rebuilding my website. Should be up next week. Completely rebuilt that, and just kind of the way that I work, just sort of changing things up. I have a little bit different business model now. But that's all internal stuff. I really pretty much the same philosophy, which is I just, there's San Dimas built, sort of similar to very early Charbel's boogie bodies. So that's my whole thing. And then I do my embellishments, which are graphics and visual things to it. That but underneath the bones and the snake skin and the paint is really just an old boogie body Charbel, one trick pony, and those are the things I used to build for my students back in the late 70s, early 80s when I worked up at Usonia, Randy Rosenbaum's studio. That's where I really cut my teeth on all these. I wouldn't call it guitar building. It was really just I was bolting stuff together and wiring it up, but I have to go source out all the parts and things like that. It was a lot of fun, and I just took it to another level. So, we got a couple of new models that I'm working on, and also a few spec guitars, which are just, usually all my guitars are built to order. Somebody gets a hold of me through the website, mrscaryguitars.com, or word of mouth or something. It's not like I really advertise. When I get 10 orders a year, then I stop the orders. I only do 10 a year. And that keeps them exclusive and keeps me from going crazy because I can't really do more than that for scheduling recording kit. I'm happy with that. And so I just leave it at 10 a year. And, but just, I really it's a real personal experience when a buyer comes to me, a client. They're very involved from day one. And once, they do the initial consultation and they make a deposit, then they get my cell phone number and I'm sending them videos back and forth, and we're talking about the build throughout the whole process when necessary. But some people don't want to be that involved. They just, this is what I want. I want the guitar that I see in the picture. Okay. And there are other guys that are, dive into the details, as far as neck dimensions, and weight of the body, and the type of wood, and all kinds of other things. But I like when people are involved. It makes it very personal, and they're getting something hopefully that's going to be their desert island instrument. It's going to last a lifetime.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, you were very instrumental, not to make a pun on the word, but in helping me put together what you built for me. I mean, dude, first of all, you want to talk about weight. That thing weighs 13 pounds, but it's very well balanced. It's comfortable, you know what I mean? And you were very... again, you asked me what kind of, your neck, what do you want on this, what do you want that? So yeah, absolutely. I mean, you definitely customize, and using your knowledge, what you think is best, that's kind of what I went off of. And of course, I'm not a real player per se, but still I wanted something kick-ass, and dude, I mean, you far exceeded what I thought it was going to be. When I opened that thing up, I was like, oh my God. It was like, Yeah,
and people listening probably don't know, but you brought it to a show or two, and I just grabbed it and played it, I believe, on stage.
Yeah, you played it for a whole show in Tempe and then half a show down here in Tucson. And the real truth is, people, he tried to steal it. I had to chase him down to the hotel. I had to break through Brett Michaels' security and get my ass to the hotel.
Well, that's the thing with Mr. Scary Guitars. Once in a while, I got to come take them back just to readjust them and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. I know you'd always say, I think it's potted wrong. I got to fix that.
Yeah, it's not an option, dude. It's a mandatory service. It's in your contract.
Well, dude, I'll tell you this. Anytime I'm around and you want to grab that thing, it's all yours. You can take it and play it all you want. It's a great guitar. And, the other question was, do you still use that same wood that you told me the story? You'd found a bunch of wood that was in an Amish barn that had gotten flooded. And the theory behind it was that wood expanded and then was kiln dried, and it leaves tiny little air pockets in the wood.
Yeah.
Which could affect
tone.
Yeah,
that is a theory that's been validated. Actually.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Well, the wood. The cells in the wood are what expand, and so it's almost.
Yeah.
So what I call it like micro chambering. So, if people are familiar with the idea of chambering, where you hollow out a guitar to increase the weight and increase the resonance. But I think this works better because you're doing it evenly throughout the whole guitar surface, as opposed to creating chambers. So you have dead areas and live areas. I think this is better. So the actual cells in the wood become, which are porous to begin with, especially with an open grain guitar, and that gets saturated with water at some point, and then it dries out. Those chambers then dry larger, and you get a different resonance, and you can hear it even when you knock on the wood. So, I have a shit ton of that in my stashed away. I have to be careful. I have to keep it humidified, the constant humidity. But yeah, I use that, and I use a lot of black limba, usually black limba, which is a form of mahogany, which is wood that Gibson used in the late 50s and is revered, in some of those early flying Bs and destroyers and so forth. And one of the things about that wood is you have to be very careful because it is notoriously volatile. Dust will cause mesothelioma. You'll actually get lung cancer. Fine particles they're so fine that you breathe them in and damage your lungs. And that's usually for people that will work, let's say, in a factory where they're breathing it all day long. I work outside. I don't use it that often, and I wear a mask, so I'm okay. But I like to pretend that my job is dangerous. So when people ask me, how come your guitars are so expensive? I go, because it's dangerous. I'm risking my life to build your stupid guitar. Save you a bunch of money, dummy.
Again, they're amazing guitars, dude, and I really appreciate, again, what you did for mine. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I really didn't charge you enough.
Well, we had the little trade out there.
All right, we don't talk about that. Send me a little something.
It worked out really well, didn't it?
No. We'll talk about it.
So what else is on the horizon that you might want to mention, because you always seem to have something going on, man. It's like every day I think, all right, what's George Lynch doing?
It looks like this Banishment record is actually going to get finished. This is a project it's a 3-piece with Tommy Victor from Prong, myself.
Yeah, that's right.
Programmer engineer Hayes, and it's again, it's something I started quite a long time ago with Hayes. Originally had the singer from World War III, and that didn't work out. So here we are. We're probably going to be finishing this up and releasing it next year at some point. We'll also have another Ultraphonics record coming out next year. We recorded essentially a live record in the studio. We just opened up the mics and jammed for 3 days at this wonderful analog studio downtown Los Angeles. It's owned by Daniel Landlaw, and is one of our favorite producers and favorite musicians of all time. So it's Renaissance man, and tremendous respect for him. We went down there and just set up as a band and played a bunch of experimental music and jammed for 3 days, and try and edit it, cut it up, and make sense of it. Not really songs, kind of, sort of, sometimes. But, it's just pretty free form, and just kind of eye inside the process record. And that'll be coming out as a standalone product next year, as well as another Ultraphonics studio record. So, yeah, bit of stuff coming out.
Cool. Oh, one more gear question I forgot. Do you have a new Seymour Duncan pickup? The Hunter?
Yeah, it's called the Hunter.
Yeah.
And what it is essentially is a pickup that has been available for a long time through the custom shop. Kind of a semi-secret thing. It's like In and Out. It's like the secret menu.
Right.
They don't advertise it, but if you know what to ask for.
Yeah.
So you could call MJ at the custom shop and ask for the Dockencaster, is what they've been calling it, which is basically the wind that I used back in the Dokken days, which is a Duncan distortion, but it has a different wind on one of the coils. And so it's really kind of a cross between a JB and a distortion. And then we did one more small change, which I won't divulge, on the magnet, which the housing on the magnet is a little different. So it's essentially the Dockencaster, yeah.
Well, cool, man. People have people been getting those? Are they're available now, right? Because I saw something online about it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but they're not in stores. You have to call.
Oh, okay.
You have to call Seymour Duncan. And then the only other product I have out right now is, well, I've got an ESP guitar. It's the LGD brand, and it's called the Kami 4. It's a kamikaze graphic, but it's a green fluorescent graphic with the cheese grater headstock.
Yeah.
Favorite version of that guitar with a maple neck, and very affordably priced, and the thing plays insane. I go do clinics here and there, and I don't even bring a guitar. I just take those up, grab those off the wall.
How does it compare to the original that came out, back in the late 80s?
Well, it's not as heavy.
Was it the late 80s or early 90s the first version of that came out?
Oh, the first version of the Kami was
well, that color, that configuration.
Oh, no, that color was the 90s.
Okay. Yeah.
But this one has the Hunter pickup already in it installed, so it has a good pickup.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to spend any more money on it. It doesn't have the highest grade Floyd, but that's okay. Made of good wood. The neck is phenomenal.
I've read really good things about it, but I did not know it had the Hunter pickup in it.
And Morley re-released the Dragon Wah pedal in a smaller form. So they're doing, like, a lot of companies are doing miniature-sized pedals now, so they can fit on pedal boards. So they did a smaller version of my Dragon Wah. And it's got a really cool graphic on it. It's kind of shaft in Africa inspired. It's got a purple and yellow zebra stripe graphic. So, not that that means anything. But,
so it'd be kind of a play on the purple sunburst tiger, kinda, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit. We kind of start with the tiger and then juice it up a little bit. Made it a little funky. It's fun. Yeah, it's cool. So there's that.
Well, dude, I tell you, man, you've always got something going on, so that's why it's always cool to get in touch with you and find out what the hell George Lynch is up to, because you always got stuff coming down the pipe, or it's already, it's out there, or you got ideas.
I definitely got stuff coming down the pipe, believe me. It's been a while. Oh, I see what you're saying. You meant musically.
Oh, George, we know each other way.
Get my mind out of the gutter.
We know each other way too well. Guess how long we've known each other now? Can you guess?
I don't know, dude. I have to go back and look at my diary.
All right. Yeah, dear diary. I met Mike Gaube. 21 years, dude. 21 years in June.
It's kind of too long, dude. I usually try to cap it at 20.
Well, that's how I kind of felt this past year. You kind of threw me to the curb, man.
Yeah.
You ghosted me. You ghosted me, George, as the kids say these days.
Yeah, just hook you right in the heart.
Yeah, and then tear it out. Well, cool, dude. We'll look forward to Ultraphonics in August. Also, Shadow Nation, some new Lynch Mob material. Hopefully, the Unnamed Project next year. And just MrScaryGuitars.com and GeorgeLynch.com, right?
Yeah, I mean, just stand at a music store and a George Lynch product will come just flying out, hit you in the side of the head eventually. They're just everywhere. All right, Mike, it's good to hear from you, man. I'll call you later. And I actually do have to get back in and get to work on this guitar. I'm doing I'm doing a snake hunter right now for a museum in Germany. And I got to go actually stick the snake head in the body. I got to wrap that out, glue it in, and do some nipping and tucking.
Cool. Cool. Can't wait to see some pictures of that.
Yeah, I've thrown them out on my Mr. Scary Guitar Instagram, I believe.
Yeah.
Already. So there should be up there. I'll keep coming.
All right, dude. Thank you so much, man. It's great to finally have caught up with you.
All right, Mike. Thanks. Try not to melt out there. I'll talk to you soon.